Hello, Mr. Cox's Dad Stories. This is episode 4 or podcast 4, 11/16/2023. I recorded the first one. I didn't want these too long. Seems like the phone after that I'm recording on, even though I have plenty of memory space, something's freaked out. It thinks it doesn't have enough memory space, even though I put a new memory card in it that has a lot of storage on it, and it starts turning itself off after so long. I have it on a charger, so it's not running out of batteries, but plus this keeps it short, so fairly short, so people don't get bored. I want to talk in part 2 of riding two-wheeled vehicles with Mr. Cox. I have to go back to something I said earlier. Generally, my sister didn't have bicycle accidents to speak of that I remember. However, there was this one little bitty house next to ours, and we had these neighbors that lived there, and they had 2 little kids, but they were, again, not knocking anything, but they were kind of rednecks, whatever, and I think we're all kind of redneck in our own ways, but anyway, the guy was fairly large, and he had pimples on his arms, and he would just set out instead of being cool and doing it in public. If he thought he had to pick them, he would just sit out there all day, it seemed like, and just pick the pimples in his arms. So he was sitting out there, and my sister was riding a bike by, and she was embarrassed because she was, 13, 14 years old, something like that, and she wiped out hard, right, I don't remember what caused it, right in front of the redneck pimple picking. It made me feel like Peter Piper pickled peppers, and Nettie Noodle nipped his neighbor's nutmeg. But no, she wiped out right in front of him. She was really embarrassed as a young teen. Another time, I was riding with her and one of her friends, and I was always messing around the bike, swerving, stopping, taking off, and we had this accident. I slammed into her friend, and I was following. I was coming close behind her friend, and her friend suddenly braked or something like that, and I hit the fender. And of course, at the time, ticked my sister off because it ticked her friend off and all that. So I think that's about the only bicycle accidents I had involving her, or that she had, the one that I know of. So it was mostly me and my brother and my mom. So back to bicycle accidents. I got my mountain bike, okay? This was after I had a good job, environmental safety, making good money. I went and I didn't buy the top of the line. I didn't get a Cannondale or a Trek or something, but I got a decent, nice mountain bike. And I'd been doing, weightlifting and lost weight and, dieting, exercising, got all in shape. I was riding a bike to get my cardio in and all that kind of stuff. And I love just my childhood, love to go find trails and things. I find all these places to go. So I rode a lot with my friend that I'd grown up with. He got a mountain bike too, and we were riding together. Now this is weird, but every time we rode, because we'd usually ride together until after dark or right after dark, and the bugs would start coming up. I'm not kidding you. Every time we rode, the guy got bugs in his eyes, and I thought he was making it up. He says, look, and he pulled his eyelids open, and there were big black bugs stuck in his eyes, and it happened every time. I'm like, dude, do you sit there and ride like this or what? Because I was riding in the same areas and not getting the bugs in my eyes. Here's your McDonald's sweet tea, best sweet tea you'll ever find. At least chicken has some really good ones too. So usually I'm not naming things, but I'll name those businesses. They're good for their sweet tea, particularly. So I get my new mountain bike. I'm riding along with my friend, and he's usually on the road, being all proper and cool, and I'm always finding somewhere to ride, dangerous. So I go popping up in this yard. There used to be a house there, and then they tore down, I think, and there was a trailer there for a long time. I didn't know that they had dug a great big hole. I don't know what they did. I don't know whether it would have been a septic tank there because it was in town, but it looked kind of like they dug up a septic tank because it was a big deep hole. So I'm thinking maybe at one point, it was close enough to the edge of town that it had a septic tank in it or something, and then they took it out maybe and hooked up to the city system because it was a big hole and a deep hole. So I just popped up there, and my friend's talking to me, and he turned around and he's talking to me afterwards. He's freaked out because he thought maybe it was the end of the world and I was gone, like the rapture or had happened or something. I don't know what he's thinking, something like that. He told me he was freaked out because he's going like, we're just talking, and all at once I'm gone. So I popped up in this yard, boom, and I just went over the handlebars head first. I'm always going over the handlebars, I guess. But it was deep enough that the whole big mountain bike, as a young adult, went down in, and the whole thing's gone. I see like these pipes and stuff. That's what I think it was, a septic system was sometimes sticking out. And I wasn't seriously hurt, but it felt painful and it was scary. And then I got laughing, especially when I found out he was calling me, couldn't figure out where I went, and thought that the end of the world had come or something. Another time when we were younger, I liked to ride different bikes, and sometimes we'd ride each other's bikes, and sometimes we would ride. He got the special 10 speed before me. He was always getting like the more top line bikes. I had nice bikes, so he'd get like the top. So he got one with Shimano center pole brakes. They'll stop you real fast, and it had this thing on it. You can flip the brake loose. We were always playing that. And he was visiting at my house, and he parked his bike there, and I parked mine. So I jump on his bike for a minute, and right out through the yard. He's like, he didn't give me permission or anything. So he's like, hey, what are you doing? I just took off just right out. I didn't read that. And I pulled the brakes. I was used to like my side pull brakes. These center pulls stop, and they stop you fast. Like, this is the bike. My body hole, like here, comes up like this. I land right where you don't want to land on like the handlebar nut. Ooh, it hurt bad. Had to go lay in the ground for a little bit, and of course my friend was like, that's what you get for taking it off my bike. I wasn't stealing it, I was taking a joyride. Another time I was riding with him when we were just kids. I wouldn't do that now. I'd stop and see, if there's something I need to pay for or something, but we were pretty young and freaked out, and we were riding along. We'd always ride along and talk, and I'm always doing stupid crap like I said, but we were riding along, and we're talk. And all at once he yells, Rick, that's my first name. I looked, turned around just in time to see what looked like a big old hoopty ride car coming at me. Actually, it was parked, and I just wasn't paying attention, and we were riding like where there was cars that normally parked, but they weren't parked there, and swerving in and out, and there it is. I just boom and hit the thing. I blacked out. I hit the thing so hard in the head, and then I hear him yelling, Rick, hurry, get up. And I saw the thing afterwards. I woke up, there's pieces of plastic taillight lens all over the place where I busted the taillight lens. Like, I'm sorry to whoever that was. If they're still alive, I wouldn't do that now. And I wouldn't have probably done it then, except for I was so freaked out. He's screaming, we gotta get out of here, get up. Because she heard it hit, and the woman comes running out screaming. She thinks somebody's killed on the back of their car or something. She's just like lost her mind. She's come running out the house screaming, and I'm laying there just waking up from being blacked out. And when he says blacked out, he's literally blacked out. I was driving, talking to him, all once, boom. I just saw black, and then that was it. I heard his voice screaming again, and got to myself. We rode out there, took off as fast as we could. So sorry, whoever's car that was. I couldn't tell you what it was. A big car, probably early 70s type of car, those big cars. So another time I was riding with him. I was riding his grandpa's house. His grandpa lived not very far from me, and he had these nice little sidewalks to go along. His grandpa had his own little bike shop, and he worked on bikes, and so if we need some adjustment made or something fixed, we could go to him. Well, anyway, we're riding his path around the house. There's part of the path we ride, that part was sidewalk, and there's this fence post where the gate was at, and we would leave the gate open or I'd ride, and we would chase each other around as fast as we go. And instead of being on my normal bike, I was riding my mom's bike. Well, my mom's bike was an old touring bike, and it had more narrow places, hand grips, where you put your hands to hold the bike. I don't know why I can't think what that's called right now. But mine with the Stingray would have come up like this, and then of course later I had the 10-speed. It would have went through there too. But I was riding hers, and I got like really good at going through there as fast as I could. Well, I got chasing him one time. He's going, boom, he's flashing there, hit it. One of the handlebars hit the fence post. I kind of boom, hit my hand grip from my mouth back right on my mouth. It like didn't go in the teeth, but hit my lip, boom, landed on the ground. Of course, he comes back. My friend turns around and comes back to see if I'm all right. It hurt bad. He's laughing because he saw me come up and hit my mouth on it. Well, I had him, no kidding. Those little grip things on the handlebars, those little lines so you can have friction and hold. I had just marks in my lips, at least for some time after that day. I'm sure it probably went away not long after that. But that's the kind of things we do, I get laughing. And once I get the mountain bike, flashing back to the mountain bike again, I'd go find places to ride. I went riding out through, this is really kind of dumb, because if I got knocked out, seriously injured or killed, or had been seriously injured that I needed medical help and could die if I didn't get help, nobody would have known it. I didn't have a cell phone yet then. I was young. Cell phones were only for the rich. People had your car phones. So I was out riding this mountain bike. I went out to this little park out several miles outside of town, and I found these trails that go back to these really cool pine trees. I always like pine trees and Christmas and nature, and that's just like Christmas except the summer. I was just like going as fast as I could with a mountain bike, and it's a dirt trail, and it was fine until I hit this one mud puddle that was there. My bike, I went flying out, and my bike went flying, but I went flying out through the trees, hit the branches, got all gnarled up. I laid out there for a minute. Man, it hurt. I think I hit my hip on a root or something, and my beat all up. But I was thankful, I was able to get up. I don't remember any major damage being done to my bike. It could have been, majorly damaged, and I had to walk home from I don't know how many miles I was out there, but thankfully nothing like that. So there's many other accidents that I could think about, I'm sure. But those are some of my classics. Oh, my friend got this motorcycle. Same friend. He got a small motorcycle. It was like a dirt bike-sized motorcycle, kind of, but it was made so it could ride on the street or dirt. It was like full dirt. I don't know what it was, a little Honda something or the other. So he's like, I should have known. See, here I am. I had all these bike accidents, moped accidents. Over the house, he goes, why did you take the bike, why the motorcycle? Actually showed me how to shift it and all that kind of business. You got your grip here, and then you got to where your foot hits the thing to shift it, and all that. So I'm like, yeah, this is cool. I'm getting out. I don't know, it's going 50 or 60, something like that. I think the bike would do highway speeds, like not interstate highway speeds, I don't think, but like just regular highway speeds that do a good 55, 60 mile an hour. So I get it, wound out where like and the squirrel, and I'm not kidding you, I've never seen anything like it. I don't know how the timing was. It comes out, I'm thinking, oh my lands, I'm going to hit this squirrel. I'm going to kill it. I don't like to hit things. I really don't. I'm going to kill it, and it's probably going to, not to be gross, but you smash something like that going 50, 60 mile an hour. It's slippery. It's probably the bike's going to, it's it. The squirrel didn't veer from its path, and I didn't have time. I would try to slow down or whatever, but it's like, it just ran in. It ran literally between the front and the back wheels, right under my feet. It made it. I didn't wreck. The squirrel didn't die. My heart was racing. I turned around, first place to get up there, turned around, slowed down, took the bike back. That was the last time I rode the motorcycle. Like, dude. So, people get into accidents with deer and all kinds of things hitting them, and that thing's usually bad. Oh, I have to mention a few things. I love dogs too. I would not hurt dogs for anything, but if they're trying to kill you on a bike, it's kind of different. So I had a lot of encounters with dogs too on bikes, but I was stupid. I was riding out by myself a lot, way out in the country. And this one route I would take, I come through here, and there's this massively steep hill. I hadn't been down that road, but had been at the other end of the road. I get up, and I'm just pumping for all more to get up it. I get to the top where I'm going almost zero. I had to then literally stop for a minute and regain the balance of the bike because it's getting tippy because it's almost stopped. And there is a big German Shepherd, a big burly one, comes out to meet me. And I'm like, oh my lands, I've had it. But maybe, by the grace of God, it didn't attack. Maybe it was a friendly dog. I wouldn't attack. Maybe it's because the bike stopped. They like to chase. If you're moving, they'll chase you, generally. Because they've descended from wolves. They've been bred from wolves. And anything moving fast or moving, that's prey, and they chase it. So even the nice dogs that don't really want to hurt you or anything, a lot of times they'll chase a bike or chase somebody running because it's moving fast. And so I remember a story. Mountain lions very rarely attack people, but I remember a story. I get to see, this is one of my rabbit trails out in California somewhere. 2 women were riding bikes, probably mountain bikes, out on a trail way back out in a nature preserve or something. And because the bikes were moving, it freaked out a mountain lion, and I'm sure it thought they were deer or something. Boom! It comes flying out between the trees, knocked the one woman off the bike, and I think it grabbed her. And the other woman stopped, and she's like smacking the mountain lion and stuff, and gets it off of her because it might have killed her otherwise. And again, mountain lions need to be protected. Felis concolor, that's the scientific name for them, genus and species. Awesome creatures. They're endangered. We need to protect them, so it's not that they usually don't attack, but it was that prey instinct of seeing something moving. Thankfully, the other one was able to fend it off and get that woman help. I'm sure she was bloody up. She probably had to have maybe tourniquets put on her and all that stuff so they could get back, but it wasn't that. But I had these dog incidents. So another time, I was riding on this road I go on, and running these dogs sometimes. But I'm not kidding you. These things are intelligent. 3 of them were working together. This one big, I think it was like a golden retriever, maybe mixed with something. It's big. It stops right in front of the road to try to force me to stop. And I'm looking at it because I'm like, am I going to stop or what? And then I see out in both ditches, there were 2 smaller dogs, one in each ditch. They were poised, ready to get me when this big dog stopped me. They had plotted this out. I'm like, oh my lands. And instead of stopping, I'd slowed down. So I swerved, and as fast as I could go, and I just barely got around the dog. The other 2 dogs come running up, and I'm out of the side. They were going to do their best to kill me. I don't know. Wound me, maim me, put me in misery, maybe kill me. I don't know. But I didn't go down that road ever again. I went down in the car a lot, and I've seen them. I go back sometimes, see the dogs. I think, yeah, those are pretty cool looking dogs, as long as you're not on a bike. So, I'll can it with this one. If I come up with some more funny biking stories, then I had to mention one more my brother did. We were at a campground, riding around as fast as he could go on a bike. He'd done that on a moped till one of the park rangers or whatnot come and ask him to stop because it was upsetting the other campers. And said, you're going, so he's doing on his bike, him and some of his friends that were camping with us, and then at our own camper, adjacent campsites. He had a picnic table somehow. Got off the road because there's a picnic table and the road to go around it. He hit it. He had to go to the hospital because he had this concussion. It was a big wicked thing, but okay, and he recovered okay. But I'll stop with that. Mr. Cox's dad stories. See you another time.